Welcome to the Talking Heart, always connected though miles apart. Like the lotus flower grows from the mud, transforming pain into power, we rise above. On my quest to find other heart-centered beings with similar intention and shared vision, and through a series of divine connections, I am blessed to have been guided to Janis Luedke. She will be sharing a bit about herself and her career as an interior designer, and she will talk about her lovely heartfelt children's book called The Hearts That Fell Out of the Sky, a story about the heart heads. It's cute. It's an innocent, hopeful, imaginative, inspiring, and brightly colorful children's book for kids of all ages, including you and I. For the past 30 years, Janis has worked as an interior designer, and during much of that time also as a self-trained artist, specializing in painting and collage. Her work has been exhibited in Southern California and throughout the Boston Metro West area, and some of it resides in permanent collections at Children's Hospital, Bayside Hospital of the Future, the Boston Home, and other facilities. Her art-related travels have taken her throughout the U.S., the British Isles and Europe, Central and South America, Africa, and Mexico. The book is available on Amazon.com and SilverStreetMedia.com. Thank you, Janis, for being a part of the Talking Heart and for sharing your story with us today.
My name is Janis Luedke, and I'm here to tell you about my children's book, The Hearts That Fell Out of the Sky, a story that had to be told. To give you a little background about me, I grew up in the Boston area, but after college I moved to the Southwest, where I lived for 19 years. There I was continually awed by the expanse of the landscape, the ever-changing light, the colors of the earth, the mountains, the sky, and the overall texture of the natural environment. This environment greatly influenced my career as an interior designer and had a strong effect on my budding career as an artist as well. Eventually, I moved back to New England, and I was pleased to go to work for a design firm that had a similar sensibility, especially in the healthcare arena. So my focus was on creating warm and inviting environments using the elements of nature, color, texture, art, and light. Besides my passion for the Southwestern landscape, I also fell in love with the Latin culture, which permeated the region, and I was especially attracted to the loving and compassionate hearts of the Latinos I met. My artwork became greatly influenced by their dazzling colors and rustic flamboyance, and as a result has since then evolved into brightly colored impressionistic and abstract compositions. 6 years ago, I had the opportunity to take an abstract painting class in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. The place was paradise. The temperature was balmy, the buildings were unique and brightly decorated, and the sculpture was vibrant. The bougainvillea, jacaranda, and scented flowers were in full bloom, and the environment there made me come alive. Our group spent the week painting in an atrium-like room in our hotel, and the magical atmosphere of our site led to many bursts of creativity. Our instructor taught us a number of ways to use collage with acrylic paint, and gave us many little tips, one of which was to show us how to paint a very simple, abstract human figure. Just draw a carrot, he said, put a circle on top, and voila. Since my excitement kept waking me up in the middle of the night, I would get up and sketch for an hour. I drew this new human figure over and over until one night around 3 a.m., the circle suddenly became a heart, and thus were born the heart heads. It occurred to me immediately that these creatures looked very otherworldly. I purposely didn't give them faces or limbs, as I wanted them to be as ethereal as possible. Although eventually I did give them appendages which were kind of like wings, which you'll see them using upon occasion. I drew lots of sketches, eventually showing the heart heads descending to earth and getting involved in whimsical situations with the earthlings. These sketches soon evolved into acrylic paintings on paper. I created images such as heart heads rent a car and go on vacation, or heart heads don dressy hats and visit the Queen, or heart heads wear bow ties and keep calm. All the time I was sketching, I was wondering, what is the purpose of the heart heads? So I created a list. A few of the ideas I came up with were to help humanity, spread peace, joy, and humor, teach people to see the world through loving eyes, teach people to live in their hearts. These ideas helped me to realize that the heart heads had a tale that needed to be told. So I started to write a story. After making a stab at writing prose, it felt flat and boring, so I switched over to rhyming verse. This felt very comfortable to me, and with it I was able to be much more clever. So I wrote verses and painted an illustration for each verse that I wrote. The book, which is entitled The Hearts That Fell Out of the Sky, is a story about the heart heads, the message they brought from their planet to Earth, and the adventures they found themselves in on the way. They had been living happily on their very distant planet in the universe until one day they heard a dreadful sound across the vast universe. From Earth came hundreds of voices yelling, "Things are going from bad to worse." So the heart heads put their heads together. After they had a day-long discussion, they agreed on what they would do. They'd send a team on a fact-finding mission, just a small heart head spacecraft and crew. Eventually, the heart heads arrived on Earth, carrying armloads of red hearts. So the heart heads dropped the hearts they had brought and performed this with very great care. As the hearts landed on everyone's head, they wiped out meanness, fear, and despair. The heart heads continued on to have a variety of adventures on Earth, and as is always the way, sooner or later they ran into a big challenge. The ogre, who lived in a cave and stole people's hearts. He pelted them with more garbage and eggs and slammed his front door in their face. From inside the cave they could hear him yell, "Blast these aliens from outer space!" Of course, I can't really tell you the outcome of the ogre confrontation, because that would be giving it away. But suffice it to say, nobody was permanently hurt, and the heart heads came out of the situation as heroes. After the heart heads had completed their mission on Earth and left for their homeland, the Earthlings were left with new hope and a new mission. The heart heads have taught us some things about love, with the gift of their hearts so red. Pass your love on to all you know, and the love will just spread and spread. This story has been read and enjoyed by many who have expressed their appreciation of the message with comments such as, "This is a lovely reminder for children to live from their hearts and be the change we are hoping to create in the world." And, "There is wisdom in what the heart heads have to say to our current world. It's not just good timing, this book is timeless." Although The Hearts That Fell Out of the Sky is officially geared towards ages 3 through 8, it has found a much more universal audience and is required reading for all adults. The heart heads have permeated the earth, and their message is here to stay.